In this segment, we will be discussing the topic of mental health and illness of inmates in the incarceration system, going in depth into their treatment, condition, and awareness and interactions between others within and outside the system. Our focal points are on borderline personality disorder, schizophrenia, and bipolar with varying personal accounts.
I'm here at Blue Ridge County Jail with...
Hi, my name is Samira Jones, and I was incarcerated for stabbing my brother 5 times. My name is Jenny Benson. I'm 35 years old, and I have been incarcerated for 12 years.
Cassandra Brown. Could you tell me about the illness you're struggling with?
I got bipolar disorder. Yeah.
Is there like any way you could describe it to me? Get some information to viewers?
It's just like I'm happy one minute, I'm mad the next minute, I'm sad.
Bipolar disorder is a disorder associated with episodes of mood swings ranging from depressive lows to manic highs. The effect is they'll make you feel one way different the next minute. Some symptoms would be mood swings, sadness, elevated mood, anger, anxiety, apathy, oppression, euphoria, and maybe some behavioral stuff around irritability and risk-taking behaviors.
Yeah, I mean, I did the crime so at the time. I'm struggling with schizophrenia, and it was wrong. Just the way my mind works is just kind of like I can't process things correctly. I feel like I'm hearing things. I feel like I'm seeing things. I don't like too much noise because it makes me paranoid, and my mind just starts to kind of like just jump around, and it's just I don't know. I want to live other people's lives, and I just see things differently than others. I get really like paranoid.
Schizophrenia is a disorder that affects a person's ability to think, feel, and behave clearly. Some symptoms, like behavioral, would be under social isolation, disorganized behavior, aggression, self-harm, lack of restraint. Some moods they could have are anger, anxiety, apathy also, and it's also really common that they have fatigue, impaired motor coordination, and the lack of emotional response.
When most people are pulled over on the street and asked about schizophrenia, they answer with some kind of negative portrayal that the media / Hollywood has implemented into their minds. Some common myths that are perpetrated in the media are the people with mental illness are like very violent, unpredictable, untreatable, and they're evil. And most of the time it's really not like that. It's just how the media portrays them to be. And one in 100 people will experience schizophrenia, but the lifetime risk of someone with schizophrenia seriously harming or killing another person is calculated to be just 0.005%. And we tend to stigmatize the mentally ill as violent, murderous, and criminals because that is what we've been conditioned to believe.
I suffer from borderline personality disorder, which comes with emotional instability, feelings of worthlessness, insecurity, impulsivity, and impaired social relationships.
Borderline personality disorder is a mental disorder characterized by unstable moods, behavior, and relationships, and it's very common that it has at least 3 million cases per year. Their symptoms include something like emotional instability, feeling of worthlessness, antisocial behavior, compulsive behavior, anxiety, anger, depression, and some also have very common thoughts of suicide.
The way that borderline personality disorder is displayed in the media through movies is that they somewhat try to diagnose people in a way that they don't know who they are, not really showing what they go through when it comes to impulsiveness, irritability, and social anxiety.
Even with all of that, you don't blame the illness itself. You blame yourself, basically, as the person.
It's it's definitely the illness. I never was like this. I was just a regular girl. Went to college. I attended college for law school. I was never the type to behave this way. And when I turned 21 is when things changed for me personally. You know, I started to lose a lot of weight, and I just the behavior was just different. And you know, I struggle with taking medication as well because I think, you know, I'm very smart intellectually, and I think that not taking my medication is best for me when it's really not. And people tell me that, my family tell me I need to take my medication. I tell them no, and it just kind of ended up, I'm in prison now for that.
I definitely feel like my disorder played a huge role in the crime that I committed due to the impulsivity and the anger and just me thinking that I'm someone else at the moment that I'm not.
The crime that I did was basically pulling a gun out on my father. And I believe it was my mental illness that made me do so. Yeah.
So you fully, like, I guess, blame illness for the deed that was done.
Yeah.
So, with dealing all of that, do the prisoners treat you differently? Do the guards treat you differently? Does anyone else with a different mental illness treat you differently within the system, or do they, like, stay the same? Dealing all of that, do the prisoners treat you differently? Do the guards treat you differently? Does anyone else with a different mental illness treat you differently within the system, or do they, like, stay the same?
I mean, they always treat people with mental illnesses a little different. You know, I'm not portrayed as, you know, just...
They definitely treat us differently because they don't want to put up with us, and it's just kind of nerve-wracking because they never know what they're going to get out of us every day. So it's kind of harsh.
And bridging off of that, you're saying that it's hard to, like, cope with the stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, and last thing, what about your living conditions, if you could describe that for me? Like, do they give you, like, a different type of cell because you have a mental illness? Are you in a different wing with someone else?
Their job, because, you know, we in here for something that we done did, so they're not really into us. The nurses, they're okay, but I just feel like they don't have the proper sources to help us, you know? Like,
do they give you treatment for that, or is it just you're in here because you have your mental illness, we're not going to help you out, just stay out your time however long you're here?
Well, I'm not reacting terribly because I'm taking my medications so that I'm not isolated into, like, the hole or, you know, a different part of
pretty much it's like we you know, it's
so
jail. Like,
still
we
in
have
the
you on a
truth.
certain type of time, you know, when they tell us to do something, we gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But living condition wise, I mean, I got a middle bunk, you know, a little sheet and to lay on it. You know, it's just, I'm in a little cell, not really doing much, and, you know, it's just, it can be complicated sometimes.
Life is like a roller coaster, up and down. I don't really know what I'm going to get out of myself, especially if I'm not being treated like they say they treat us. Sometimes I can go days without getting my therapy or my medication, so I never really know what to expect.
guards, they're like, you know, I mean, it's jail. They're guards, like, they don't really try to see what's wrong with us, you know, see what's going on with us. They just really trying to do their job because, you know, we in here for something that we done did, so they're not really into us. The nurses, they're okay, but I just feel like they don't have the proper sources to help.
All right, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Treatment of those with mental illnesses in the prison system differs largely from inmates deemed normal. Many people in prison with mental illness were not in full control of their actions as they committed the crime they were sentenced with. Many mentally ill people in prison are not treated equally by guards and other prisoners alike. Mentally ill prisoners are constantly dealing with hardship that most prisoners never have to, all that before they have to deal with the other humans. It's a big problem in the prison system today that needs to be fixed.